welcome back. Icy Akey here. I'm with Cow. We're doing the Dignitas versus BrawL 1-1 so far.
Yeah, we've got a good series on our hands. I said I called the 5-0. Clearly been put to shame. Dignitas showing up big time, and I'm excited. I have no idea which way this is
So
going
you
to
have
go.
no idea with Game 3. All right, so we saw definitely similar picks between both those games. I was watching it back in the other room. What do you think we're going to see different for Game 3 coming up?
I think for sure we're going to see more emphasis on Harley Quinn from BrawL. Usually they've kind of let, in NA, they've kind of let the controller picks fall farther down. I think that they haven't played against a controller of the caliber of Darky before. I think GS is kind of so much far ahead of the other controllers in North America that he's been like, I'll beat anyone with anything, right? And at this point, Darky's clearly shown that that's not the case.
Yeah, so, I mean, I'm definitely interested in seeing if Harley's going to make it through the bans. I think both teams are ready. Just checking on BrawL here. We could probably jump right into Game 3. So do you think we're going to see Stargirl this time around?
I don't think we're going to see Stargirl from these two teams.
From these two teams.
Yeah, I talked to both of them. For some reasons beyond their control, neither of these teams has played a whole lot lately. Right?
Oh,
they
a
haven't
whole
had
lot of
a whole
Stargirl.
lot of
Yeah.
scrim time in the past couple of weeks. I know Darky had some situation where he was moving, right? So they probably won't feel as comfortable on the newer champs or the things that aren't quite as meta. So I think you're going to see less experimentation from these guys, more really, really solid play.
Yeah. All right, well, both teams are ready, so we're going to go ahead and jump into Game 3. All right, BrawL up first here.
Will we see the Batman ban first again?
Yes,
Not sure.
Batman band was first that went out, followed by the... Oh, Harley
there's
Quinn
the
did
Harley
not
Quinn.
make it through.
Yeah, not surprising at all. The Batman ban was kind of a placeholder. That's like, not because you fear Batman, but because you're like denying a good pick for kind of a ban that you don't need. But this time they said, hey, we need the ban. We need to get rid of Harley Quinn. We're not having it. Get rid
So
of Harley Quinn.
we're seeing the Atomic Wonder Woman ban. I mean, that happened last game as well.
Yeah.
Do you think we'll see the Batman pick?
Yeah, I think we definitely could. I think they've been picking Gaslight Catwoman, which to me is more or less like a lesser version of Batman right now. I think most people would feel like that. They kind of do the same thing, but Batman's generally accepted to be stronger. It could be that Dr. Cox thinks that Gascat is stronger, but there you go. The Batman ban, which leaves up Arcane Green Lantern for the top lane, which is an enforcer that we haven't seen before.
We usually do see Arcane Green Lantern
Yeah.
either banned or first pick.
So that's interesting. They have a choice here basically between the Joker Prime and the Arcane Green Lantern with an outside chance of Poison Ivy Prime. I would not be surprised to see any of those three champions. I'm going to put my money on the Arcane though.
So putting your money down on the Arcane Green Lantern, do you think Dignitas would follow that up with Poison Ivy Prime and Joker Prime?
I would. Now this is not what I was expecting. The Atomic Joker coming out, so that says that they think the Atomic Joker was part of the problem last game. I didn't see that personally, but that makes sense to me. If what you saw from last game, if you're the shot caller or champion select capper for BrawL, is that bot lane was the problem, not only the Harley Quinn, but because we didn't have the Atomic Joker pick. That was causing us to lose the lane and eventually the game. Then it makes sense to grab the Atomic Joker here. But what does that leave up for their opponents?
So that leaves up Poison Ivy Prime, Joker Prime, and Arcane Green Lantern. So maybe BrawL was thinking, regardless, they can still at least get one.
Now they still get two. This is interesting. Okay, so Dignitas and the EU scene. So our NA EU, we don't prioritize precisely the same champions. There are a lot of good champions in this game, so it makes sense. They put heavy emphasis, we can see now, on the Wonder Woman Prime. Wonder Woman Prime did a lot of work in both games 1 and game 2, so you can hardly fault them for that. But I know for sure that BrawL isn't a team like that. They don't put as much emphasis on the Wonder Woman, especially since it's not so popular in the bottom lane or the jungle anymore. So I think this favors BrawL. Wow. Okay, if they pick the API, I would be blown away. Completely blown away. But they're not picking it.
After 4 or 5 picks, still no Arcane Green Lantern.
Well, they don't have to pick Arcane Green
Yes.
Lantern anymore. I think Arcane you're pretty much only going to see in the top lane, especially with such priority. And Dignitas has shown that Wonder Woman is their top lane pick. So in that situation, if you're BrawL, you look at these picks and bans, you say, all right, Arcane is going to fall. He's probably not going to be prioritized. If they did pick the API, though, they'd be picking it over the Arcane, which would blow me away. Gascat, though, that is interesting. They're also putting priority on that.
Yeah, so they're definitely putting priority on their damage over controlling in mid lane Blaster here.
Okay.
So Cripsy grabbing Arcane Green Lantern for BrawL. That still leaves Joker Prime on the board.
Guys. All right, so I've been wrong twice now, but I'm going to give my hand-on analysis one more time. So what that says to me, then, is that BrawL is focused on getting rid of everything that they possibly can that was a trouble for them in Game 2. So if you look at the picks from Game 2, Harley's banned for Dignitas, right? Gascat is picked by BrawL. Atomic Joker is picked by BrawL. The two picks from their team that they did get are the Wonder Woman and the Star Sapphire, but BrawL denied pretty much as many as them as they possibly could.
So with Cripsy still having his marksman up, I'm assuming we're going to see Green Arrow going out for Cripsy. I mean, BrawL's...
Well, he's going to take the Atomic Joker, probably.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, Atomic Joker, obviously.
I think we're still going to see Joker Prime, and then based on previous selections and my own knowledge, I would think a Nightmare Superman. But you could see a Zatanna. I know GS does like Zatanna. You could alternatively see Joker go down in the bottom lane. Not something that you've seen very much recently, but something that's still very much viable. So there's the Joker Prime. That's the one pick that I think is a given at this point. But will we see a Nightmare Superman? What's it gonna be?
If BrawL doesn't grab Nightmare Superman, I don't think we'll see it out for Dignitas with their comp.
I wouldn't think so. I'm pretty much... Yeah, if you did see it, then that would mean a whole lot of weird things for their team comp.
So it looks like Zatanna is going to be the pick for
You
BrawL.
might see Zatanna. GS does like him, so Zatanna. It's a great champ right now. Quite strong. And what it provides that Night Soups doesn't bring to the table is that heal, right? Night Soups has the shield that the other controllers do, but the other 3 controllers additionally have a heal. So, for whatever reason, GS winning this game, he said, we need the same kind of lockdown, sort of, that Night Soups provides, but we also need the heal to go with it. I think that's probably to have a better lane phase. I think their objective is to not lose bottom lane this time, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, with BrawL going out to aiming to not lose.
Okay, so that's a remake, looks like. They might not have wanted that Doomsday pick. That was a little bit interesting.
So it looks like we actually lost one member of BrawL there.
Oh, yeah.
I think someone just got disconnected.
If that Doomsday pick is true, though, that is interesting. We don't see Doomsday at all in North America. And there were quite a few things up. We saw Flash up, which is like the premier NA jungler, like I was talking about, although it seems that this game, Dak favored the Gascat. Yeah. Jeez, what else was up? Nightmare Robin was still up.
Yes, Nightmare Robin. I mean, we saw Atomic Wonder Woman, Gaslight Joker, Batman, and Harley Quinn. Those were the 4 bans.
Yeah. That's interesting. I'm excited to see Doomsday. North American players, new patch, Doomsday, tried him out. They said Doomsday's garbage. But we have seen him a few times in EU.
Yes.
And he could definitely still be great. I'm interested. This is a true clash of styles here. See which one comes out on top. That's really cool.
So, I mean, yeah, you've told me before, both EU, NA, they prioritize champions completely different.
Yeah.
So, with Doomsday being the last pick for Dignitas, obviously that's their jungler.
Right.
Where do you think they're going to be going with that composition?
That's a tough call to make. Because Doomsday doesn't have a real great place against a comp that has both an Arcane Green Lantern and a Gaslight Catwoman. Because that kind of a team fight, team wants to be sort of spread out anyway. And what Doomsday does really good is he spreads out team comps. To me, the Doomsday pick says, we're going for the early game. We're going to get kills early. We're going to snowball the game. We're not going to worry so much about how well we do in team fights. We've already got, like, team fighting sort of down. We've got Gas Bat. We've got Star Sapphire. We've got Poison Ivy Prime. We've got Wonder Woman. We've got great AoE there. We're going to kind of ignore the last pick as far as team fighting goes and focus that one on the early game. So that's what the Doomsday pick says to me. I'm not so sure how well it's going to work out, but I'm excited to see it for sure.
Oh yeah, no, I'm definitely excited. All right, we're back in the Champions Lab. Everyone's picking their same bands, same champions, and we'll see how it goes. GS, that last pick, Zatanna. Schlitzer with that last pick as Doomsday.
Oh. Are we going to see Ease on Gascat? I hadn't even considered that as a possibility before. But Dak was kind of notorious for running Arcane Green Lantern Jungle before the patch. And now after the patch, it's considerably better. Arcane Green Lantern has pretty much been a top lane pick for all the other North American teams. But if there was one guy who was going to jungle, it would be Dak.
Yes, Dak. Yeah, we've seen him do it previously before the patch. And can you talk more on Arcane Green Lantern in the jungle now, post-patch?
So his E cooldown is super short, like real short. If you pick up the Lantern, you're building cooldown reduction now. You can get down to a 0.8-second cooldown on his Lantern, and that is tremendous for playing jungle.
I mean, you do see a lot of the players really build max cooldown reduction for Arcane Green Lantern.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much the prioritizing way to go then.
Yeah, and then his damage output has been further increased by HP scaling in substitute for where he had will scaling before, and he also had lower AP scales. So he does more damage now. He can get tankier. He's less of a bottom lane centric pick and more of a jungle or top lane centric pick. Most people have looked at his wave pushing ability and said, all right, he's a top laner, right? He can use his E, he can clear waves, he can control the top lane. But Dak said, hey, I'm looking at this CC, he's got a knockdown, he's got a snare, he's got a slow, he's got great jungle clear. I'm going to take him in the jungle, and I think it could be a tremendous pick.
I mean, previously we've seen Arcane Green Lantern's kind of wave clears a little slower in the prior patch, and now with definitely the reduced cooldown times, I do think it's a lot faster.
Yeah, and he doesn't. A few patches back, not so much just the last patch, but his mana in lane was awful. You could not use your E over and over in lane, or you just wouldn't have mana, and you would eventually get pushed out of lane for that reason. But he has a lot better time with his mana now, and what that means is that you can sustain in places like the jungle and the top lane.
Yeah, it was definitely well-fed. It was really hard to keep it sustained that time. You definitely needed to start off with the Lantern as that first weapon to really kind of keep that will regen up and actually stay in that lane for a little bit longer than.
Yeah, and what that means is that Ease is on Gascat
I
in the
believe
top
you
lane.
do not belong here.
If I think back to when the bleed on Gascat's passive still caused last hits to be 100% guaranteed, I had Ease's Gascat like permabanned because it was scary. Alright, Ease loves to sit in the top lane and never ever leave and push and push and push and get extremely fed, and it was really tough to deal with. I haven't had to deal with it in a long time, thank goodness, but it looks like Dignitas is going to have to deal with it here. I'm really excited to see how precisely it does.
Yeah, you said E's very strong with the Gaslight Catwoman. Gonna be interesting to see that in the top lane.
Yeah, the Assassin versus Enforcer matchup generally, I feel, goes towards the Enforcer, but with a player like Ease, I don't know, anything could happen.
Well, give me more of analysis with the matchup between an assassin such as Gaslight Catwoman compared to an Enforcer matchup against Wonder Woman.
Well, it used to be that you would run out of will. That no longer happens because your will is really, it has really high regen. And your overall will pool is rather small, so you don't have to worry about that too. But you will lose individual trades, especially in the early game, because the enforcers have really high base damages, and they don't take a whole lot of damage from your skills, even though that's what your skills are all about, is dealing damage. So until the mid game, you're going to have a really tough time trading, and they're going to be able to push the wave against you in this stage. You see Nurok doing a little bit of bullying here, just as you would expect from an enforcer versus an assassin hitting over 2 players.
Yeah, with one woman hitting 2, Nurok is definitely bullying Ease around quite a bit, already having to use those health vials there. I mean, with against one woman, just taking almost no damage against Gaslight Captain.
Yep, but the fact that the wave is pushed allows Dak to come in here for a gank, and this was probably something that was pre-organized, but whether I'm betting he didn't have his shackles yet, so that was probably not going to be successful.
Yeah, usually see it start off with that Lantern and the Emerald Construct for the first 2 abilities for Arcane Green Lantern.
That did give Ease time to equalize the lane here, and now he's actually got 1 more drone in his wave, which is going to give him actually a tremendous amount of power in this wave. It's going to allow him to push it back.
Oh, and there's a Lantern going down. Emerald Construct misses, though.
Survive the very early game, and that's really, really important. And it's also really annoying for Nurok. Nurok comes into his lane, he says, hey, I've been dominating Ease in this lane so far, and now Dak comes in and basically steals that away from me. It's not fair.
We're going to see Dax at the top lane with Ease here to get this first Destroyer. As we move down bottom lane, GS and Cripsy definitely have the drone wave advantage here.
Yeah, it's interesting. I wanted to see how this bot lane would be doing with his Atana pick, not something we see a lot, and it looks like GS is putting on a lot of pressure.
So GS does not see it. It rocks down.
Speed drop coming in, but looks like they're probably just going to secure the Destroyer camp here. Destroyer camp top went to Dak and Ease, as Dak's pretty much set up his tent up there, and he's not leaving, so that's a 1-for-1 trade, pretty standard.
Yeah, one for one trade. Both teams each getting a Destroyer right now. I mean, with Poison Ivy Prime, they're just keeping Cripsy and GS at bay. I mean, with the knockup, they can't really advance too much further and even contest that Destroyer at all.
Yep, and with the larger wave here, top lane again, Nurok's going to have control. He's probably going to try to take a jungle camp here. Although he might be wary because Dak has just been showing so much presence in the top lane, but otherwise,
oh, the lasso getting out. Meteor drop. He's already below 50%. There's no damage right now in Nurok.
That was really, really well comboed. It's pretty easy to hit Meteor comboed with your ultimate. Way, way harder to hit it comboed with just a lasso, but he did it there, and it gave him a lot of pressure. I think right now he should be taking the camp.
Yes, this huge drone wave going out. I mean, Ease is... You're seeing what these players can do. I think farming underneath your own turret, very difficult.
Yeah.
But Ease able to do it just fine as Gaslight can.
Yeah, Ease is a really strong player. He missed the cannon there, actually.
Oh, Cripsy almost getting the kill on Chris.
This bottom lane is doing twerk here. This is fantastic, actually. I was not expecting this Zatanna pick to be quite so strong, but it is fantastic, actually. Yeah. And the fact that Chris had to be so early in lane is actually pretty unprecedented. I think you're going to see more of the Zatanna for the rest of the series, and this is generally how the early lane is going to go. Because up until now, BrawL has been losing the early lane and bottom lane.
Yeah, and like you said at the beginning of the champion select there, BrawL really needed emphasis on trying to not lose that bottom lane.
But to seek revenge
Dignitas
is your
knows
choice.
Dak is down there, but are they going to do anything about it? I think they want to counter gank here, but Dr. Cox wanted to buy an item first. So Nurok is going to try to bait this out. This is definitely a good idea from them. I don't know how successful it'll be, though, because they're so close to BrawL's tower. The idea is there.
I don't think they know Doomsday's right there, but they do have the vision on Dak, and they're not going to try to advance at all.
Yeah.
Dak, it looks like Dak's going to try and make his way towards it.
BrawL smelled something fishy there, so they didn't go for the kill. How precisely is Genre doing in this moment?
Genre's doing pretty well. Definitely even trade right now. The only separate by like not even 100 credits at this point.
And I actually missed which stolen power did he take this game? he went back to the meteor drop. So in game 2, in game 1 we saw him with the meteor drop on Joker. In game 2 we saw him with the healing wave on Joker. And now we're back to the meteor drop. And it's my suspicion that he wasn't very familiar with the healing wave on Joker, tried it out just for the safety against the Star Sapphire, and decided that the pressure that the meteor drop gave him was like worth a lot more than the safety that the meteor gave him. And he's up like 100 credits right now, which is better than he was doing last game, so I think it's worth it. And actually a missed ulti there on Wonder Woman Prime.
Yes, Wonder Woman Prime, Nurok definitely missed the ultimate there on Ease because Doomsday was there trying to pull him in. Now that both are level 6, I think Ease is going to have stand a little bit more of a chance against Nurok here.
Yeah, at least while that ultimate's down, Ease isn't going to fear kill pressure from Nurok, so he's definitely going to push his advantage here.
Yeah, another 90 seconds on Nurok's blocking bracers.
With the new will scaling, regen scaling on assassins, you're going to be able to use that ultimate as much more of a trading tool in lane on Gascat than you were able to previously. So we're going to see Ease start to really win some trades here. But nevertheless, I'm pretty sure the kill potential is still on Nurok. If Dignitas wants to keep this lane in their favor, they're going to have to send the jungler up here.
Oh, even trade going out by Nurok and Ease here. Still no jungler in sight. Cripsy is just being so aggressive in this bottom lane. They are really putting a lot of emphasis on this bot lane here.
Yeah, this is pretty tremendous. I don't know. I'm not a bottom lane player myself. I do play a lot of AD carries, but not in a duo lane situation. So I don't know how much of this might be due to perhaps Poison Ivy Prime not having the strongest early game. But whatever the case might be, BrawL is having a much better time in this bottom lane this game, and I think that's gonna end up being huge.
Oh, but Darky misses the knock-up there. Still another failed gank by Doomsday at that time.
Yeah, and like I said, this Doomsday pick was, I feel, primarily for the early game. And the fact that it's not working out really well for them is not a good indicator for Dignitas.
Yeah, we have not seen a successful gank going out by the early Doomsday pick. I mean, it's been enough to instill fear and actually try to keep the rest of BrawL away from, but it's not able to secure that kill. I think it's due in part by really good placement on the vision.
I think it's important to note as well that even though BrawL is apparently dominating this bottom lane, they're not really up in credits. So they're getting good pressure down. They're being extremely safe because their lane opponents are always pinned at low health and low mana. But they're not getting a credit advantage out of it. So if Dignitas can maybe get a kill or just go even from here,
oh, the knock-up on Cripsy, the basket going out, but the invulnerabilities, is Dark able to get the kill? No!
Wow.
Cripsy just getting out of that alive.
Huge plays from Darky. Really good on the skill shots, managing to hit Cripsy with just the tip. But yeah, the fact that they didn't get the kill there is pretty big, actually.
Yeah, I surely thought that bat screen was going to be getting him. So we're going to start to see both Darky and Chris both going back for Dignitas.
And that was really smart from Dignitas. That was some timed aggression. They had the tier 2 Shades Cane onto Chris. So Chris had a power spike on his modded Shades Cane. Like that's like the biggest power spike you could possibly have in the game. That's the lowest costed plus 10 damage mod in the game, and then Shades Cane is probably the most cost-effective item as well in the game, just in terms of the pure offensive stats that it gives. So that's like the most damage you can be doing at any point in the game compared to your item build.
So with that exchange in the bottom lane, Dak and Cripsy were both able to get the destroy in the bottom lane. Oh, last one going to by Nurok, missing just right in front of BrawL's turn.
Yeah. They're not going to be able to secure the destroyer camp.
So that's an even destroyer exchange there between both BrawL and Dignitas.
Yeah, that's pretty standard. We're not seeing a whole lot of anything anywhere. I mean, the bottom lane has been applying pressure for BrawL, but then we almost saw Dignitas get a kill, and then every other lane has been going more or less even. The only real difference that I can see at this point in the game that's meant anything is that Genre has been able to build a pretty significant gold advantage over Slitzer just by pushing him into tower over and over again with the utilization of that.
Yeah, there's about 150 credit advantage in favor of Genre right now. But we're still not seeing too much going on. Ease and Nurok still duking it out here. Oh, blocking bracers going down, followed up by the meteor.
Wow.
But deny the black going out. Can he stop Nurok?
Looks like
Throw down the lantern and the chains. First blood gonna go to BrawL. The lantern, Dak picking up first blood.
Wow. So tremendous turnaround. If I was Nurok, I also would have gone for the kill there. It was definitely his kill if it hadn't been for the barrier. And then
Another
the Green Lantern.
game.
Yeah. But that's the thing that Arcane Green Lantern is really, really good at, right? He's the king counter ganker, right? Or the king turnaround man. He doesn't necessarily come into a lane and just grab a kill. He comes into a lane and he saves you from getting a kill. And then sometimes he can turn it around like we just saw. And actually, the Raider was just spawned on the top side of the map. And I think that was actually in response to moves from Dignitas to spawn on the bottom side.
Yeah, Dignitas definitely gave it away that they were once they took out all the vision from BrawL. It was definitely a smart move by BrawL to spawn the Raider at the top.
Yeah, so that's a really strong move that you don't always see teams making, but it's probably less important now. But before the patch, and still to a great extent now, it's one of the most important things that you can be doing in the early game is just not giving up the Raider, and spawning it in the right position is about half of that battle.
The shadows.
Oh, Ease is really low. I'm surprised Nurok didn't continue that exchange. I mean, obviously without the vision of Dak, it's definitely going to be a little scary to really push Ease.
Yeah, Nurok is comboing his spells really, really well. The thing is that at this point in the game, if Nurok pops a potion, he's got a lot more health than Ease. So let's say they both trade, and they're both at 60% after that trade. If Ease uses a potion and Nurok uses a potion, the potion for Ease will bring him back up to maybe 80% health, while it will only bring Nurok back up to 70% health.
And we're seeing dead even credit exchange between both Nurok and Ease in the top lane. Looking at Schlitzer and Genre here, still have that. Now he's up to about a 200, 150 credit advantage for Genre. Still keeping that lead.
On Team C, we call this style the play-to-win style. You just get into mid lane and you don't do anything except cast your W on the wave and push it over and over again.
Emerald Construct going out, knocking down Nurok, but he looks like Dak's not going to continue trying to set the gank on Nurok.
This Joker Prime style is not particularly difficult to execute. I highly recommend it if you're in solo queue, particularly if you're playing against I'm Going Pro. Please do it. Frustrate him. But just by shoving the wave into tower over and over again, you're going to both create pressure for your team to make opportunities on the map, and you're also, like Genre's doing right here, but you're also denying your opponent a certain number of credits. So it's just a good strategy.
Definitely against Star Sapphire. I mean, Genre needs to be aggressive against Star Sapphire. I feel like Joker does not really compare with that range that Star Sapphire has, so it's a little difficult.
Yeah, definitely Star Sapphire has some sieging potential that Joker doesn't bring to the party, so it's good for him to get an early game advantage for that reason.
Still not too much going on this bottom lane. We thought we saw that early kill on Cripsy.
And Dr. Cox trying to come in on Genre, but the advantage is just strong. Really difficult to gank a Joker Prime, particularly when he's so close to his tower.
Oh, Dak does not know that he is spotted here.
Oh, the Bonds of Love miss. Dak just walks away.
Oh, Ease very low here. Nurok, oh, but deny the black going back out. Nurok needs to get out of there. Lantern going down and the change. Can they get the...
Wow.
Dak picking up his second kill on Nurok.
That's got to be extremely frustrating for Nurok, because Nurok was down in that lane. Or sorry, he was up in that lane.
Up by a significant amount.
And he was trading favorably, which is the main thing. He's like, I'm creating a lot of pressure by trading favorably with ease over and over and over again. I have kill potential in this lane. I'm going to go for kills. But then...
Oh, Baby Bomb going out in Schlitzer. Invulnerability, but Mr. Punchy misses, but Dak comes in again.
Terrific roam from GS. And now they're probably going to get a turret off this.
Oh, Darky is not
they're
set
gonna
up
chase
for a
Darky
4-on-1.
instead. I don't know about that decision. So they're probably just going to back out here.
But even though Darky was able to peel them off and they could save their own turret.
Yeah, that was great by Darky to distract them. I don't know about pursuing into the jungle.
Oh, he's able to get out of there. Skin of his teeth. Ping is going out though. They have no one able to come back and try and catch Ease.
But I can tell you from experience, the most frustrating thing is when you would be killing a guy 1v1, and then his jungler keeps coming in and saving him. And in this situation, not only is that happening, but the kills are getting turned around. Dak's doing a tremendous job with his ultimates. As long as he stays on this top side of the map, or at least near Ease, I think they're going to continue to have this level of success.
Yeah, we've seen Dak every kill so far.
Look at this dashing rogue dragon.
100% kill participation.
Excellent fashion sense and a winning style.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is it's not been particularly aggressive. It's just been Dak being in the right place at the right time, which I guess you'd be pretty good at if you had a global lead. And here we see BrawL going for the Raider.
Yeah, BrawL going for the Raider. We have Gaslight, Chris bat screen on cooldown right now. Not able to help contest this.
Dignitas is just going to give it up. I think that was mostly because Chris was in the bottom lane. They're going to disengage here, I think. But they haven't traded back the bottom tower yet. And if they don't, then that's going to be a pretty unfortunate set of moves for them.
Ease going to, but the Predator goes out, stops Ease in his path.
Yeah, they're not going to do it.
Yeah, BrawL's going to have to disengage here. And Chris definitely going to have to disengage from getting that turret.
I'm not sure about that communication there. GS went back in. Looks like we're going to have a full-fledged team fight.
Predator going down. Deny the Black going out with GS here. Ease still in the middle of all of this. With the Ease picking up a kill on Nurok after that meteor drop. And that's going to be a 1 for 0. And it looks like all of BrawL's going to get out alive.
That was really interesting. I don't know who it was that had the EMP on BrawL. I think probably it was Dak, but whoever had the EMP thought they were going to die, and so they just panicked, dropped it. And I think it actually did a little bit of damage. But most importantly, now no one has the EMP. So actually, even though it was 1 for 0, Dignitas did get out the EMP from BrawL, which is one less option they have for aggressive plays. Not sure how important it is at this stage in the game, but it could turn out to be.
And now Dignitas has exchanged that bottom lane turret. Cripsy with the speed boost from Zatanna going in, trying to get, and he picks up the kill on Chris.
And that's the strength of Zatanna right there. That's what we haven't been seeing so much in the North American scene. I'm not so sure about EU, but Zatanna bringing in that speed boost, securing that kill, that's not a kill you would normally think is obtained.
But with Atomic Joker having that extended attack range,
yeah,
definitely a little bit more cool. I do like this combo with Zatanna and Atomic Joker.
You see BrawL up 5 kills to 0.
And about almost 3,500 credited me.
But it's 3.5K. And this is the interesting thing. This is a little bit like Game 1 was for Dignitas in reverse. They're getting kills here and there. They're getting an objective here. But they're not dominating the game by any means. It's not like Game 2 was for Dignitas. They're kind of barely edging out a lead by being opportunistic. And if things had gone a little bit differently, it could easily be Dignitas in this situation instead of BrawL. So I wouldn't put too much stock into that gold advantage right now.
Yeah, the gold advantage is only about 3,000 right now, almost 4. Oh, Nurok going in. Misses the lasso and Ease, but he's trying to take up his Droid here. Starting to see Dak make his way up. Deny the Black, off cooldown in 10 seconds here.
I fear for this. I don't want to see the same situation as last time, but looks like
the lasso going back in on Ease.
Please.
Blocking bracers going out, and the meteor drop, invulnerability going down, but here comes Eye Dr. Cox.
And they're going to get Ease.
Puts Ease in the wall, but Deny the Black going out. Oh, Ease going down. Baby bomb going out on Nurok. Nurok's down.
All right, 1 for 1 this time. It looks like Nurok's learned his lesson. This time, he didn't just go for broke. Called 3 members of BrawL up into that top lane, so they're at least going to get this mid lane tower
Psychic
for
Assault
that.
going
And
out.
it's a 1 for 1. Much better trade than they had previously. This is one thing that Dignitas is really, really good at, is when they make a mistake a few times, they're good at adapting and learning how to make sure that they don't make that mistake again. So he was like, I was over-aggressive a couple of times. This time, he sort of maintained the same level of aggression, but while kiting backwards. And as a result, the play ended up a little bit more evenly for his team.
While that did go out to be a 1 for 1 fair trade between both teams, each team was able to get a turret. BrawL taking top lane of Dignitas in exchange for their own mid lane turret, tier 1.
Yeah. That was, the more I think about it, that was really well done by Nurok. Because he didn't have vision, as far as I know. He just smelled it. He's like, I've seen this situation somewhere before. I'm not falling for it this time. Fool me once, you know.
He's going and trying to make a move on Darky, but with that camera down there, definitely had a lot of vision.
The speed boost from Zatanna.
But that tier 1 turret still up in the bottom lane for Dignitas is not allow BrawL to continue with their engage.
They're going to try to push this down. This is not a good decision. Like, if you've just shown 3 people in a lane by trying to make a play, the play is already dead at this point. And trying to extend it by pushing onto a tower at this point has only given Dignitas time to react and puts yourself in a dangerous position. BrawL realizes it, they start to back out.
Cancel teleport going out.
But this was effectively wasted time for BrawL they could have been using to set up another aggressive play. The initial play failed, and there wasn't any follow-up to be had there. They needed to just go ahead and back out.
Leviathan spawned here in the bottom. Still an even train going out by a genre and Schlitzer here. We have not seen too much between the two of them.
It's interesting. I would have expected the health on the mid lane tower to be a little bit lower, but
Considering, as you said, with the that method of Joker, just to push that drone all the way.
but Schlitzer doing a tremendous job of keeping them up on his tower pretty high. And there was even that one time when he died in the mid lane. I think it was Schlitzer, yeah. And the tower was left undefended, and it took a little bit of damage there, but really good job by him.
Oh, Nurok going down. GS picking up the kill on Nurok. That's
That trick always
5 deaths for Nurok so far.
As big as Dak has been on Arcane Green Lantern this game, really helping ease out in that top lane, basically giving them the lead there. GS has been at least as big on Zatanna, dominating the early game and securing kills left and right. He's got 4 of 7 kills.
Oh,
with this
Cripsy
raid.
putting on the jukes on Darky and Chris.
The happy beat.
The happy feet.
This is interesting though, because they know that Gasbat is pushing bottom lane, but they've opted to 5-man mid here. And I'm not sure if this is the best decision.
Yeah, pings are going out for Chris in the bottom lane of Dignitas. It looks like they're going to disengage with this 5 middle and start sending a couple towards the bottom lane to try and cut off
Yeah,
Chris.
looks like they're gonna try to make a pick. Chris made the right decision, decided to try to go recall in the bush. Is he gonna get out there?
Oh, he is not going to be able to make it this time. Speed boost going out though, but GS and Ease are going to be able to pick the kill on Chris.
That's okay. He wasn't gonna get out any other way. He could have chosen a different bush to recall it. That's probably the first one you would check if you were looking for him. But
Pings going out. It looks like BrawL's going to set him and try and take Leviathan.
gosh, I love this. If Dignitas had done this in game 1, I think they might have been able to close it out. But the turnaround for BrawL happened because they weren't able to get the kills. This time, BrawL just got 1 kill. Nothing special, just 1 kill. And they're going to be able to take this to 5. And they're going to get a kill.
Oh, GS engaging all through Dignitas here. Predator going out. GS very low. Dr. Cox is going to be able to secure the kill on GS here. Predator going out as well. GS first down for BrawL. So right now it's a 1 for 2 in favor of BrawL. Dr. Cox put Ease to a wall there. Presence going out. Oh.
Surrender comes out.
Or after that team fight, that was a surrender going out by Dignitas.
Yeah, that was going to be a 4 for 1, probably, maybe a 4 for 2. And Dignitas saw how far behind they were. And with the Leviathan going that way, I think they knew. It was definitely a game that they could have drug out, but I don't think they were gonna win anymore after the Leviathan. The Leviathan call was tremendous. That
Yeah,
was
with the
really well done.
Leviathan going out, you saw Dak 4-0-5. It's very impressive play. It really shut down that Wonder Woman Prime in that top lane. I mean,
Yeah.
and like you said, BrawL put so much emphasis on that bottom lane with Cripsy on Atomic Joker and the Zatanna pick by GS. They had Chris and Darky at their turret the whole game.
Yeah, that's interesting. I think that the picks by BrawL were good. They had the Arcane Green Lantern, which did well, obviously. They had the Zatanna, which did well. But one thing that I didn't touch on so much was that the Doomsday didn't do anything.
Yeah, when we saw the Doomsday go out for a lot of ganks bottom lane, he went top lane a couple of times. And the only kill that actually he participated in was that one for Nurok in the top lane.
Yeah,
And
and really,
that didn't come until what? I think
Yeah.
late in the game, mid at least.
and really, he could have been anyone there. Narok set the play up well,
Yes.
and he was just in the right place at the right time. The Doomsday pick didn't pan out the way they wanted it to, obviously. I wonder if it was so much that they hadn't practiced, and so they didn't know what to pick. And so they said, all right, we'll go with Doomsday. But
Yeah,
We'll see.
well, it's going to be definitely new picks. Game 4 coming up real shortly. We'll be right back at this quick break.